Before George Washington ever took the oath, there was a man named John Hanson. He signed official papers as President of the United States in Congress assembled back in 1781. Yet when you search for him today, you find arguments, fact checks, and missing portraits. Some say they erased him, others say he never mattered. Let's cut through myth and confront the evidence where narrative and fact collide. Consider this crucial question. It means that you can verify documents, signatures, and records that you can hold or trace. For Hanson, those receipts exist. Land deeds from Maryland, assembly minutes, his letters, and even his 1781 will. They confirm the man, the office, and the timeline. But the same historians also admit we don't have a particular portrait, and that's where confusion breeds. In a world built on images, removing the image removes the man from public consciousness, fueling myth over evidence. The uncertainty surrounding the portrait illustrates how the absence of documentation affects perceptions of truth. No one erases John Hanson directly. Instead, narratives compete. Fact-checkers correct, activists revive, and algorithms filter. Erasure now is memory buried under noise, not books burned. Here's where people get twisted. Many people see a colonial-era painting by John Hanson and assume it depicts John Hanson, the president. In reality, this frequent mistake is a significant reason for the confusion about Hanson's actual image. To be clear, John Hanson was the artist. Credible evidence has never definitively identified the sitter in the portrait as John Hanson. Hanson painted many Maryland elites, but no direct evidence proves that the well-known portrait is truly of John Hanson, the president. This uncertainty fuels the ongoing confusion over the picture. Attributed means historians believe, not known. Uncertainty about the portrait sparked rumors. Was the so-called Hanson portrait invented? Was an original face replaced with another? These questions stem directly from gaps in documentation. The truth? We do not know the truth, and anyone who claims absolute certainty is merely pretending to be a historian for profit. Just because you don't see it yet doesn't mean it's not real. Many people quit because they can't see the results, but some things take time to show up. Don't let doubt talk you out of what's still growing behind the scenes. Since historians define reality through records, not portraits, the facts of Hanson's life, his birth at Mulberry Grove, his parents, Samuel and Elizabeth Story Hanson, and his signature on the Articles of Confederation live in ink. Portraits fade, paper survives, so while social media argues about his face, the archive whispers, he was here. That's what credible evidence means. Receipts, not rumors. Now let's talk about the second Hanson incident. A century after the Revolution, another man, a formerly enslaved black man named John Hanson, sailed to Liberia and became a politician there. 2 men, 2 centuries, same name. When people started sharing memes saying America's first president was black, the timelines didn't match, but the feeling did. It wasn't really about facts, it was about recognition. People were reaching for a reflection of themselves in a history that rarely gave them one. When the record hides your heroes, you start rewriting just to feel seen. That's what happens when you've been erased too long. But even in that hunger for belonging, we still have to separate what we hope is true from what is true, or else we lose both. Fact checkers love to say, no evidence exists. But silence in an archive doesn't equal a lie. Sometimes it means someone locked the cabinet. The system decides what is credible and tells you to reject everything outside its boundaries. That's not an investigation, that's management. For thorough research, please consider reviewing the Maryland State Archives to verify the source yourself. Check the portrait registry at mdhistory.org. Compare dates, not headlines. Fact checks should ideally include citations for transparency. The colonial Hanson was white, wealthy, and politically safe, so his name faded once the Constitution was adopted. The Liberian Hanson was black, free, and symbolic. His name resurfaced online as a form of reclamation. Online as reclamation. 2 erasures, 2 directions, both reveal who claims the past. The complexity of these stories requires a critical evaluation of available evidence rather than accepting the narrative alone. Being the face of power doesn't mean you control it, it means you advertise it. Instances occur where symbolic representation is celebrated as a milestone within an institution. But if that system still controls our money, resources, and approval, we're not in charge. We're endorsing our own dependency. Look around the world. Africa, the Caribbean, the Americas, nations full of natural wealth, yet bound by foreign currency, foreign trade, and foreign validation. We own the gold but not the mint. We own the land but not the deeds. And we fight each other for a seat in a system designed to keep us busy surviving, not sovereign. That's why the most dangerous illusion isn't slavery, it's representation without liberation. The system found a more innovative way to rule. The system keeps power by giving titles and symbols to the oppressed, making them defend the very structures they once fought against. Before we celebrate inclusion, ask, did we join or did the system absorb us? Questions remain about the criteria defining success within established systems. We have the most natural resources on Earth, but no unified economy. Despite substantial cultural and intellectual capital, external funding sources remain significant. Some have characterized this situation as an ongoing lack of economic independence, regardless of changes in appearance or symbolism. Subsequently, the question remains: consider whether efforts result in systemic innovation or adaptation. True power is not being the face on the billboard. It is akin to owning the factory that produced the resources we depend on. Evaluate information critically using available sources. Don't believe them. Believe the receipts. Read the wills, the letters, and the Maryland Assembly journals. Look up the Liberian archives for the other John Hanson. Compare the dates, the families, and the locations. That's how you reclaim truth-seeking from narrative distortion, by prioritizing credible evidence over rumor or algorithm. While searching, ask, what is ownership worth if not freedom? History changes only when we profess ignorance. Whether you call him the first president, a forgotten administrator, or a man between records, remember, truth never fears investigation. What does credible evidence mean to you? Comment below. Subscribe for real receipts, not just stories. Stay critical. Stay free.